All right, everyone. So, since it's the first Wednesday of the month, I assume you probably know what today's episode is going to be. If you have not been following along to this point, though, and you don't know what I'm talking about, we're going to be doing our second Wellness Wednesday for this podcast. And basically, Wellness Wednesday, I just pick either like physical, mental, emotional, or financial health topic, and that's like what I focus on for that episode, and I just kind of talk about stuff relating to that because it's wellness. And today we will actually be combining both physical and mental health, and honestly it could probably even tie in like emotional health. Because I was just going to choose mental health originally, but I think this one can also affect those other ones as well. So we're going to be covering most of them today. But also I forgot to mention on the last episode, I did record that episode with Mason and I put it on YouTube. It was kind of a couple days after the episode was released that I was actually able to get it onto YouTube, so I didn't really announce it, but that one is on YouTube, and I'm also filming this one, so hi for everyone who ends up watching this one on YouTube, or little snippets that I put on TikTok. But yeah, so today's episode will be on things I have done or can do to help lower stress and avoid high cortisol. And I said it right this time. I keep saying cortisol, I think, and Mason keeps making fun of me. But yeah, I'm sure most of you listening already know, but the two kind of go hand in hand because having a lot of stress is what can actually lead to having higher cortisol. So avoiding or managing stress can in turn help to lower your cortisol. But before we get into the episode, let's do a few updates as always. So over the week, I recorded the episode with Mason, like last Monday, I think it was, and that was a lot of fun. I love doing that so much. We both had so much fun, and I feel like it just like flowed so easily, so I'm definitely going to have him on a lot more. But yeah, that episode went really well. And then the rest of the week was just kind of usual. Nothing too crazy happened. Friday, I went to Hot Works with my mom after I got off work. We always love going to Hot Works together because I feel like it's just more fun to have a workout partner. And then that bike class was unusually hard that day. It was crazy for both of us. I don't know why, but then I did dinner with Mason at Kitchen 88. It's in American Fork, Utah. I think there's another one somewhere else in Utah. I'm not sure, but it was so busy, and we definitely probably went at the wrong time. So if you're trying to go to that place, I'd recommend not going at 7 o'clock on a Friday night. But the food was super good, and sorry, I feel like I'm getting like sicky throat again, but sorry, I lost my train of thought because that. So basically it's like if you're in Utah and you know Blue Lemon, it's like Blue Lemon where you order up front and then you like take a number or whatever and you go get seated and then they will bring your food to you once it's ready. So yeah, pretty nice idea. I think I like places like that. But then we just came home and we chilled and we watched No Hard Feelings, which was so freaking funny. I have been wanting to watch that movie for a while now, but I just haven't gone around to it. And so we watched it that night, and we were both dying laughing the whole entire time. That movie is hilarious. Definitely a little raunchy though, so if you're not into that kind of stuff. But Saturday was crazy busy. Basically woke up, ate breakfast, and then immediately went into cleaning the whole house because the weekends kind of are when I have time to do that. And then went straight to the gym after that, and then went and did grocery shopping because I knew that I wasn't gonna have time on Sunday for that. And then had to come home and make my celery apple juice, which they were like completely out of celery at Smith's, which was so annoying. Sorry, I probably just like yelled that into mic. But yeah, so annoying. They had one, like, I don't know if they're called bunches or, I think they're called bunches, but they had one like bag of it left. So I was only able to make just like one juice, and I usually try to do like 3 because apparently after 72 hours, juice is like no longer, like homemade juice is no longer good in the fridge unless you can store it like really well, but I just keep it in jars. So yeah, I just make like 3 days worth, but I was only able to make 1, so then I had to get more stuff and like make it the next day, which is annoying, but whatever. And then after that, I got showered and got ready, and then we went to my aunt and uncle's house and just kind of hung out there, and that was a really fun night. And then Sunday, I was kind of like chilled for a little bit once I woke up. And then I went to Trader Joe's, which part of the reason I went to Trader Joe's was to get more celery to make my juice that day, and also just because I needed some like specific stuff that I can like get from Trader Joe's, and I also wanted to get little Christmas presents for my coworkers because Trader Joe's has like the cutest Christmas stuff. And then I had my niece's birthday party, Ida May. She turned 6. Sorry. If you heard that. So that was a lot of fun as well. She looked super cute and she was so excited. Now I just love getting to see my family and hang out with them, so that was fun, of course. But yeah, that kind of wraps up the updates. So I say we dive right into the episode. Okay, so I'm sure we all know that it is not great to have super high stress all the time. But in case you aren't aware of the negative effects of stress, let me just fill you in real quick. So according to WebMD, which, you know, I get all my medical facts from there, obviously, stress can play a part in problems such as headaches, high blood pressure, heart problems, diabetes, skin conditions, asthma, arthritis, depression, and anxiety, which I'm sure a doctor will probably tell you this as well. I mean, I actually don't know if WebMD is like a reliable source, so maybe it actually is, I don't know. But and they also say that the Occupational Safety and Health Administration, otherwise known as OSHA, declared stress a hazard of the workplace. I could definitely see that. I think we can all agree that stress can do these things, and I've definitely experienced some of those conditions from having too much stress myself, and it is not very fun. Now I was pretty aware of, you know, stress and its negative effects from a fairly young age, but I will have to admit that I didn't even know what cortisol was up until like 2 years ago when I came across a TikTok about it, and I definitely was not aware that having abnormal levels of it could have such great effects on the body. But I guess, you know, you learn something new every day. So I did want to touch on some of that as well to really just clear up why you might want to avoid having higher cortisol levels, if you also have not really heard much on that. So I have looked into it a bit after it first coming to my attention, like 2 years ago, as I had said. But I found this girl on TikTok. Her username was Dr. Stephanie Nichols ND, and I feel like she just says it all perfectly. So since I can't play the video, since I am recording on my phone and then like visually recording on my iPad, I don't really have a way to show you the video, but I will just share some of the points that she talked on. So first, she starts off by saying when cortisol is chronically high due to stress, whether it be like physical, mental, emotional, whatever kind of stress, it causes us to redistribute fat into our abdomen, which then causes visceral fat, which is not good for your health or face whatsoever. It makes you look very puffy and inflamed all over because it also impacts our lymphatic system, I guess. And it almost makes you feel like you were just retaining water body-wide. And she also says that having chronically high cortisol levels can also lower our immune system and can actually raise your testosterone, which can lead to acne. And high cortisol can also just make your skin look like more dull and thin in general, and can affect our gastrointestinal system and lead to a leaky gut, which I didn't know what a leaky gut was, so I had to look that up. And according to Google, leaky gut syndrome is a proposed intestinal condition in which a weakening of the intestinal walls allows bacteria and toxins into the bloodstream. So that does not sound too fun. And then, yeah, that's basically what she had to say about like why high cortisol levels can be bad. So now that we've kind of all been refreshed on why we want to avoid something like that, let's talk about the ways that we can lower cortisol. So she also had said on there that eating protein 3 times a day, which I've heard like 20 grams is the ideal amount to get at each meal. I feel like I do pretty good with this because my like banana waffles that I make every single morning that I just pre-make have protein in them, and they also have eggs in them as well. So there's like, they're getting protein from the protein powder that I add and the eggs and the peanut butter, or yeah, I put peanut butter on top of them, so that too. And then whether I'm bringing leftovers or having like an acai bowl for lunch, I always make sure my lunch has a good amount of protein in it as well, because it also just helps you to stay fuller longer. So that's like another good reason to aim to have protein in every meal. And then we always have some sort of protein for dinner, so I think I'm pretty good at hitting that. It's also good to avoid simple sugars at breakfast, because this will help you avoid spiking your insulin and blood sugar, which in turn would spike your cortisol as well. I also avoid having coffee until I've had my celery juice, my breakfast, and water, because I've heard so many times from like so many different sources that having coffee on an empty stomach when you wake up is the quickest way to spike your cortisol. In fact, I try to just limit coffee as much as possible in general, because I've also heard that like just like coffee in general can spike your cortisol, because it's I'm not quite positive. I think it was just having something to do with like it like having caffeine and raising your blood sugar. I could be totally wrong on that, but I know that I heard coffee in general was just not great for cortisol. So I've been trying to switch to having like matcha lattes, but I don't have any matcha right now. So I have been having coffee a little bit, but I'll just like try to keep it to like 1 to 2 cups a week max, because some days I'm definitely on the struggle bus and I can't seem to keep my eyes open no matter how hard I try. But I do try to avoid needing it and like needing to have it every day, because I like when I was having it every single day, I would just feel so yucky like halfway through the day, and I would get like the worst headaches midday. And then I had seen, that coffee was like maybe the reason for this, and I stopped having it and those headaches went away. So definitely think that they were related. But I also feel like coffee in general is just not great for me, because it always increases my anxiety whenever I have it, especially if I haven't had a whole lot to eat. I can tell that I just feel super anxious for no reason at all. And then I remember, oh yeah, I had coffee. That's why I'm feeling super anxious right now. So I definitely don't like try to have it that often. But yeah, so another thing that can help to lower your cortisol levels is just getting, enough sleep. I don't always do the best with this, but I definitely function a whole lot better when I get 7 to 8 hours of sleep at night, because also something I read, girls need more sleep than boys. We need, I think it was at least 8 hours to sleep, 8 hours of sleep to like be able to function properly. And I think boys can even get away with like 6 hours. Their max could be like 7 where they can still be fine, but I think it was 6. So don't quote me on that, but I do know it said girls need more sleep, which makes sense because I feel like I'm always getting to bed later than Mason. Well, he gets up earlier. Either way, I feel like I'm just constantly a zombie, but yeah, it is something I strive to accomplish as much as I can. I try to get to bed pretty early and, get enough sleep, but sometimes it doesn't happen. The next one actually ties into getting good sleep, and it is magnesium glycinate. Taking a magnesium supplement at night is said to increase the quality of your sleep, and I also remember seeing somewhere that about like 75% of the US adult population is deficient in magnesium levels because our food is awful, and even if you do eat super clean, it's still like super hard to get enough magnesium from your food. So, I mean, like obviously talk to your doctor if you feel they need to do so, because I am not one, but I have heard so many people have started taking a magnesium supplement, and I have been trying to do that as well. I'm not the best at remembering to do that every night yet, so I don't have too much personal experience to share, but I have seen this one brand on Amazon, and it's called Moon Juice, and it's like a powder that you mix with water or juice, or maybe even like chamomile tea. It's supposed to be amazing, so I might have to look into that because I love making little wellness mocktails at night, and that would just make it so much more fun and probably motivate me more. So I'm definitely gonna look into getting that one. But she also had said some herbs that help with lowering your cortisol levels are, I definitely am gonna butcher this, ginseng, this GINCENG, and ashwagandha, because they help to repair the adrenal glands so they are not overproducing cortisol. So that is something I will be looking into as well, because I'm more than happy to be the guinea pig with all these things. So I will be looking into those and seeing, what I feel about them, like how they help. But yeah, I feel like we have covered some good info on that. So let's move into the things that I personally try to do to reduce my stress. Okay, so a big thing that I try to do is exercise. I try to like get some form of movement every day, but if not, I at least try to like exercise 5 times a week, because this just makes me feel so amazing inside and out every time I'm done. And it just keeps me happy and from randomly getting sad for no reason. So it's, great for that reason. And it's also a great stress reliever. No better way to get your stress out than, hitting the gym, getting a workout in. Especially with going to hot works, because I'm already, relieving stress by exercising. But then also adding the stress reducing benefits of the infrared sauna just makes it that much better. So that's a very good option for reducing stress. The next kind of goes in hand with that, but like, for example, if I'm at work and I'm feeling like totally stressed out, whether it's something with work or just I'm like sitting there thinking about something and getting myself stressed out, and if, the weather allows, I will try to just take a break and go for a little walk outside, because that has always really helped to bring down my stress when I do this. I feel like just getting some sunshine and fresh air can do wonders. So definitely, just walking around, distracting yourself, trying not to think about the thing that you're stressing about, just enjoying nature, definitely help to lower your stress levels a little bit. Another thing I love And Mason absolutely cannot stand this one because he just like hates the sound of it and he thinks it's weird. And every time he like even starts to hear it, he's like, stop that right now. But I really love watching ASMR videos on TikTok because I don't know what it is, but whatever reason, they are seriously the most calming, relaxing things I have ever come upon in my entire life. Like, those things will put me to sleep within like minutes if I watch them, if I'm just sitting there watching them for too long. Like, that's how well they work at relaxing my mind. It's so crazy. But don't knock it till you try it because, you know, I feel like a lot of people like ASMR. So if you haven't, maybe give that a try. But the next one also kind of ties into that last point as well. And it's listening to podcasts. Why I think it kind of ties into the ASMR is just because I just love listening to other people talk. I don't know, like it's just so calming to me. And again, it like almost puts me to sleep sometimes. So I'd be really careful about it when I'm at work because sometimes I'll be listening to a podcast and I'm like, oh, I kind of keep my eyes open right now. But especially, I mean, it sounds weird to say that like the crime ones are like calming, but like the way that they talk on the crime ones is just so like, they're like so quiet and like, I don't know, soothing. So especially the crime ones, like those ones really make me sleepy. But yeah, just another like great way to distract my mind and not let it like sit there and wander and think about stressful things. So that works really well at reducing my stress. I also like to just create a really calm environment sometimes, like if I'm at home and I'll just light candles and just sit down on the couch in comfy clothes and read whatever book I'm currently reading because it helps me again to just be distracted, and then I can also just put myself into like a different world for a little bit. And I just love reading. It's my favorite. So it's a really great way to de-stress. With that, I also like to just have a nice long hot shower or bath and do all of my skincare. And I mean, if I'm in the bath, I'm not doing hair care or like anything. I'm just kind of chilling in the bath. But like with shower, hair care, really pamper myself because I feel like hot baths or hot showers are a really great way to de-stress you, and then you just feel all nice and clean. So it's, you know, a win-win. Lastly, and I'm sure that I get this one from my mom, but I feel like if I'm ever like really stressed about something and I can't seem to calm down, it really helps me to just like deep clean the house. Like again, if I'm home, because I think it is like just giving me something else to focus on instead of the thing that is stressing me out. And like that one in turn gives me a cleaner environment. So another win-win, I would say. But yeah, I think I have touched on just about everything I can think of with de-stressing. So I think I'll wrap this episode up here. I really hope you guys have enjoyed this episode, and I hope that these tips can help. Make sure to hit that subscribe button and leave this episode or the podcast a review if you haven't yet. And come back next week for another super fun episode with Mason. He's coming back on, and it's going to be so fun. He's so excited because he brought up the topic to me that he wants to talk about. So it's going to be a good one. He's really passionate. As always, you can find me on Instagram as maddie.manic for my personal account, and getwellsoon ___XOXO for the podcast account, and maddie.manic for my TikTok, and then my YouTube is linked in my Insta bio. And check out my YouTube if you want to watch this episode, you know, on there, if you prefer watching instead of listening. I mean, obviously, if you're listening to this right now, but in the future, if you prefer watching instead of listening, you know, I got you. So yeah, check out my YouTube for that. But I'll have all of that linked in the show notes. So thanks again for listening, and don't forget to live your life beautifully. Talk to you next Wednesday.